AskReddit by deleted. What was the highest waste of money that you don't regret? Deleted. A quick 7-day trip to Maui in February a couple years ago with one of my teenage daughters, who happened to be free the same week I had off. Work was grinding me down and I needed a break. My wife and the rest of the family couldn't go, they were working or in school. The tickets were expensive, $850 each for bare bones economy narrow rock hard seats. It was a 12-hour flight that was packed to the brim. I was getting bed sores by the time we arrived. We rented snorkeling gear and a car, and spent every day from dawn to dusk snorkeling, sitting on the beaches and hiking in the mountains. We did the Hana Road, the 7 sacred pools and the Helical Volcano National Park at sunset, and took tons of photos. We ate spam musubi for breakfast, poke and salmon noodles for lunch and locomoco for supper. Slept like babies with the windows open wide in the cool nighttime breezes. The best way to blow $5,000 ever. So much what I needed at that point in my life. And a trip your daughter will always cherish. Sounds amazing. OP. I spent $300 on a mule. An actual living, 4-hooved, long-eared mule. We raise cattle, so a protection mule was a good excuse. But, really, I just fell in love with him. He's huge and sassy. He'll steal your hat and run away. He's got a ninja mode where he can sneak up on you, just to breathe down your neck or startle you. He does keep the coyotes away. However, he has proved himself priceless because he eats thistle. When we got the lease on the lines for our cattle, the pastures had been neglected and were in bad shape. Thistle is a spiky plant that spreads across the pasture, choking out grasses. Cows won't eat it. It's really hard to get rid of. To our surprise, the mule cleared out nearly all the thistle in a matter of months. He would eat the flowers out of the center. He saved us an enormous amount of money and labor. We were able to avoid using chemical weed killers, which W. Edit. Lockie says thanks for all the sweet comments and awards. He'll definitely be getting some extra carrots tomorrow. Edit 2. Mule tax. https://imgur.com/qnf8h0e close bracket dart. I love this one. Thistle is a real motherfucker. My litter robot. Yes, I spent $600 on a cat shitter, but my house never smells. I don't have to scoop litter, and I only have to empty the drawer once a week. Definitely worth it to me. We just got one this year. I have 4 cats, 1 leg and a bad back, so bending over to scoop is not comfortable. I love that litter box. I spent too much money on a big treadmill for a very small apartment. But I've ran 15-25 kilometers on it every week for the past several years and it's been incredibly helpful both physically and mentally. Your downstairs neighbor's mental health is swiftly deteriorating. Artwork. Can I always afford it? No. But my walls are full of original, 90% local art. They make me happy to look at. I'm sure I made the artist happy too. Board games. They are expensive, but they bring much joy. Waste of money? Disagree. https://imgur.com/gallery/io6cgss. $800 for a front seat helicopter tour of Kauai for me and my wife. Totally worth it. I did the same. But on the Big Island. Worth every penny. I'll never forget it. My couch. I moved out of my mom's house last year, 2019, so no COVID, and I always wanted a good couch. I tested so much. I went to so many furniture stores. Looked at so many different models. And then choose mine. It's actually from IKEA. 3 seats and long enough to let someone sleep on it. In a grey, but I saw they were also having a black cover, so I am thinking about getting that one. Extremely comfortable. I wanted a couch where you could chill out and love how fluffy it is without losing the ability to sit on it. In some couches you are not able to lean on the back and still have a straight back. You can sit on the backboard and the armrests. They are flat so you can also put a cup of tea on them. It's also not too low so you don't feel like sitting on the ground, which I do strangely often compared to my love for this couch, but you can let yourself fall onto that damn thing. It also L. So I don't want the suggestion of someone who tried a lot of couches and happens to be me then buy the Vimmel couch from IKEA. Edit. Oh my. My first award. Thank you. GE Opal Nugget Ice Maker. Dank thing costs more than my car payment but, man oh man, I love nugget ice and I use it the heck out of it every day. I can't believe I'm going to spend fucking $500 on an ice machine because of this post. How could you? Deleted. What do you plan to do with them? My grandfather absolutely loves the Beatles. He listens to their music every day. He doesn't speak English, but he always tries his best to sing along. It's so endearing. I had heard that Paul McCartney was coming to town for a concert. When I checked the ticket availability, there were only a few left and they were quite pricey. Especially for me, a high school student at the time. But I was determined to get him a ticket. And I did. I decided to present the ticket to him on my birthday since the concert would be just a few days afterwards. When I gave my grandfather the ticket, he had broken into tears and hugged me so hard. I had never seen him so happy. The smile didn't leave his face for the rest of the day. Leading up to the concert, he would talk to everyone about how he was going to see Paul McCartney and that he had the most thoughtful granddaughter in the world. $120 for a towel heater. I will never dry off with a cold towel again. Huh, didn't expect to need one. But now I do. I got into a stupid fight with my brother, so I found a game he had pledged on Kickstarter, Space Haven, and saw that for $360 I could write a pre-made character bio that would randomly show up. So I pledged it and wrote a character bio with his name and made him a flaming asshole. I have never played this game and don't want to. Has he got the game yet? Lego Death Star. Word. I got it when Amazon accidentally listed it for $125 for like 13 minutes one morning at 6 AM. I spent $3,000 for my wife to meet the Backstreet Boys and get front row seats. It is the best thing that has ever happened to her, and the smile on her face after the show and look of pure bliss in someone who suffers often from anxiety was worth every cent. I didn't spend quite that much, but I gave my wife a similar experience with 98 last year. Front row seats, meet and amp, greet backstage, full VIP access at a club post-show. The look on her face is still really vivid in my mind. The extra I pay in rent for a water view. Completely worth it. Deleted. Dining at a Michelin-starred restaurant in Milan. We had an 18-course meal with wine pairings for like $400 or so. Edit. For those asking, the restaurant is Joya. http://www.joya.it/yen/dart. It's vegetarian, but it looks like it still exists and isn't much more expensive than when I was there 10 years ago. I used to scoff at spending that sort of money on meals, got convinced to try it one time, and loved it. Now, every couple years we try to find something big like that to do. It really is amazing what top tier chefs can do to food. Back in 2017 my family went on a road trip to Minnesota to visit my nana shortly before she passed. During our stay me and my little sister went to the Mall of America and bought whatever the fuck we wanted. Big ice cream cones, Lego store souvenirs, tickets to the aquarium, fare for every indoor amusement park ride, a doll from the American Girl store and eating an expensive lunch in the store with your new doll sitting at the table with us. Fuck yeah little sis, it's all yours. I dropped over $300 in that one mall trip, but damn it was one of our best shopping days ever. We still talk about it to this day. You're lucky you got away so cheaply. You can spend $300 at the Lego store with your eyes closed and one hand tied behind your back. 600 euros for an hour of laps, 3 of 20 minutes each, around the Nürburgring in Germany. It was open in the off-season and there wasn't a single other car near me the whole time. 10/10, one of the most thrilling experiences of my life. Edit. I rented a car at the track, which is why it was so much. You can bring your own car or rent one there, but they don't allow commercial rental cars. Individual laps were I think 20 euros each at the time. I'm buying this for my so for our honeymoon when we get married, and I'm so excited to see his reaction. Due to poor insulation and distance from the water heater, my shower is never properly warm in winter. I just bought a single endpoint tankless water heater for just my shower. Best $150 I ever spent. Could I really afford it? No. Did I need it? No. Do I love it? You bet your sweet bippy I do. Didn't know this was a thing. I hate that my shower gets cold after like 5 minutes. Looked a few up and this seems a bit more complicated, and would probably need a pro to install. I want this. When I was younger I came into a sum of about $15k. I wasn't very careful with the money, and other than putting $5k down on car, I blew the money here and there. But what I put the largest amounts toward were friends in need. I paid one friend's power bill just before it got shut off. I helped another friend keep her water on. I never could keep my hands on money for long, but I don't regret having wasted it helping friends. And the friends remember it forever too. Just bought a treadmill. There is a perfectly good street outside I could run on, or I could pay for a gym membership for years and years. But now I can get a run in during my daughter's nap time, or when it's cold, or when I only have 30 minutes free and driving to and from the gym would eat up half of my time. I certainly could have made it work without this expense, but I really love it. How much is a decent treadmill going for? What did you choose? The summer after graduating high school, I won a decent amount of money playing online poker. Since I wasn't going off to college and all of my friends were, I decided to buy them all ridiculous going away gifts. A carpet, mailbox, toilet seat etc. were among the gifts. The most expensive and ridiculous gift I bought on a whim was a massive wheel of cheese, somewhere between $200-300. Little did I know at the time, that cheese wheel would set off a yearly event called Cheesagiving, where our entire, much larger now with spouses and kids, friend group gets together to celebrate and partake in cheesy goodness. This year was our 17th, unfortunately all virtual due to COVID, and I genuinely hope it never ends. This is great. I got $27k and spent it on a solo cross-country road trip that led to me moving on the complete opposite side of the country from everyone I've ever known. I was in a dark place in my head. The original plan was to find a nice place to end my story, but the trip itself helped me reconsider, so absolutely no regrets to speak of. Edit. Didn't really expect this to receive this much notice. Thank you for the awards, and I'm sorry if I can't reply to them all. I'm currently kind of swamped. How did you stop the dark place in your head? Did it just stop? Or did you work at it? Travel. I've never regretted spending money on travel. Those are some of my favorite memories. I can't wait to be able to travel again. Same. I spent money I didn't have taking trips in college and blown what should have been my savings as an adult 13 countries down. Don't regret a single one. My only regrets are the trips I didn't take. A good buddy invited me on a trip to Africa to, among other things, climb Kilimanjaro. I declined BC, my budget was tight. He wound up passing unexpectedly a year or two later, and I still regret not experiencing that with him. Another regret is the beginning of 2020 when my wife went to Guatemala and El Salvador for work. Originally I was planning to go down and meet her for a long weekend, but I didn't because I wanted to save up for a trip later in spring. Then COVID hit the world. Now I'm wishing I took that trip when I had the chance. Dyson blow dryer. It's worth every penny. I have long hair down to my waist. It only takes me about 3 minutes to dry it. That hair dryer, my wife loves it. And the cordless stick vacuums are freaking expensive as hell, but holy shit they are awesome. I bought my own tuxedo. It's $1001, 200 minutes by the time you get good shoes, shirt, bow tie, etc for it. I hardly wear it, but goddamn do I look good in it compared to a rental. I also spent $20 on a mustard yellow hat that has Big Cheese written in red stitching on it. Only busted out for the really big occasions. Edit. Picture of Big Cheese hat. https://imgur.com/gallery/ovfjutw close bracket. Edit 2. Apparently you can buy these at a Murray's cheese shop in some Kroger markets. There is also a link in a comment below to buy online. Also, just the feeling of having a tuxedo. If an imaginary big event pops up, you're always ready to be the best dressed guy around. Exactly 1 year ago I got my private pilot license. So much money went into it, and now it costs a lot of money to keep it, by flying. I don't regret it at all. Very cool feeling to go flying. Edit. To have an excuse to fly, my friend and I started posting flying stuff on YouTube so that we can laugh at ourselves. https://youtube.com/c/swedish_vfr. Can you not take passengers to cover the costs? Edit. Okay, I have enough answers now. You can stop telling me the same thing with different credentials applied. $300 hand-sewn Starfleet jacket. Went to a con with a seamstress and had her inspect the jacket. Her verification that it was quality work was a deciding factor. Spent like 30 minutes on the phone with the bank trying to prove this was me throwing away $300 in one go at a con 3 hours from my address. My fiancé and I dropped close to $3,000 on a kitchen table and coffee table from Carolina Game Tables. The kind where you can take the top off and have a board game space underneath. They are comparatively plain compared to some you see online. No lights or USB ports, no cubbies, drawers or cup holders. Just really solidly built solid wood tables where the top comes off. But hot damn they've been awesome. We use them all the time. One unexpected use was Legos. I got a Lego set and started building it on the coffee table, and when I needed to stop for the night I just put the lid on until I was ready to continue. Don't regret a cent. I bet two 50-year-old dudes $200 each that they won't kiss each other in a bar in a deeply red Midwestern town. And yes, they did it for 60 seconds. Little did you know, they'd both been secretly waiting almost 50 years to do that. I bought the $350 Lego Ghostbusters Firehouse 5 years ago. I was a huge Lego kid in the 1980s and loved Ghostbusters. When they announced the set I told my wife that I was buying it. Ridiculous expense be damned. It is set up in my home office and will never come down. Pick for those who are asking. https://imgur.com/a/7mn7615 close bracket. Yes, it is dusty. We just had work done that made a mess. They have a huge Ecto one now. Would make a nice companion piece. All yours for the low price of $199.99. I think I spent around $1,000 on gifts over the last holiday season, including Secret Santa stuff on Imgur. Last year I got a really well-paying job and I'm finally glad to be able to give back to people. I feel this. Right at the end after college I had a decent paying job for a 23-year-old, and as much as I liked having money to spend on myself after being a broke college student, I enjoyed more spending it on others. Spoiled my little sisters. Bought a bunch of gifts for an adopt-a-family Christmas program. Took my friends out for nice meals, etc. It was fun. Then the student loans came due. My wife and I were on our honeymoon in London in 2016. We had just gotten an influx of cash from friends and family, and we went out to dinner at the Savoy Grill. They had an absurdly overpriced tasting menu with the option of overpriced wine pairings. We ended up dropping about $600, and it was honestly the best meal I've ever had. The service was off the charts, with little stories about each course and its accompanying wine, and they had the timing down perfectly. Just a fantastic experience from top to bottom, and if we didn't do it then, on our honeymoon with a bunch of free money, we were never going to do it. I spent $56,000 on college for a degree I don't use, but I met my husband there, so I really can't complain. If I divide that over the nearly 25 years we've been married and consider that he's the best of dudes, it is a pretty good deal. Same here for my masters. The subject was pretty broad and it hasn't really led me directly into a career, but I got to study in 3 countries, learn a language and meet a bunch of cool people. It's given me a new perspective on the possibilities in life that will never go away. Visiting the NBA Finals while being an intern in the US. I'm from Germany originally. Tickets were $300 each. Had to drive back the 3 hours from Cleveland to Detroit at night to show up at work the next day, but damn, I'll never forget KD hitting the 3-pointer 45 seconds before the end. This may not feel like much to some, but it was important for me. I got divorced in my late 20s and I bought an eHarmony subscription to help me date again. This was before free apps were a thing. It was way more money than I could afford at the time, but it helped me realize that I was wanted and people would be happy to get to know me and date me. It helped me move on from an emotionally abusive situation to repair my sense of self-worth. A business class ticket on a 14-hour flight. I ate great food and slept like a boss. Made a huge difference to my trip as I didn't need to waste a day to recover. We needed to reschedule the last flight we took, and the only way to sit together, to kids, to adults, was upgrade to economy plus. It was about $20 seat, and I told my wife we're never flying regular economy again. Even on a 2-3 hour flight, that extra legroom is so nice. Deleted. You'll be praising your old self like never before the first time you hear them kick on. This may not seem like a lot of money to some, but I weighted 287 pounds. I lost 100 pounds and my reward was a 300.00 pair of Fry boots. I had been drooling over them for years and finally scrimped and saved to buy them. I told my husband it was my food money. Lol. It was actually my cigarette money. I had quit smoking a year before that but still faithfully put away 7.00 a day. I figured that I could always find cigarette money when I smoked, so I will keep finding it to save. I bought a Nintendo Wii that way too. I have never regretted using those boots. I love them. Let me add a note, I had help losing the weight. I had lap band surgery, which in of itself is another struggle. The weight came off pretty fast and now it's a bit of a struggle to keep it off. My greatest fear is gaining it back. I have a couple of sisters that had gastric bypass and gained their weight back. So that terrifies me. I am still about a size 14, which to me is healthy. I'm happy with that. Deleted. I just paid our full $8k healthcare deductible to send my wife to rehab. We're getting divorced and my lawyer told me I didn't have to pay for it, but she wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. 8k is a small price to pay for her hopeful sobriety and treatment of her mental health issues. In-home euthanasia for my best friend and companion. I absolutely did not have the money for it, and COVID meant I couldn't have friends to be there with me, but I couldn't bear to see her go on a cold metal table. The vet came into my apartment and gave me as much time as I needed. I read a letter I wrote, and I got to sing to Zooey in her final moments with her on my lap the entire time. 10/10 best way to do the worst thing. Friend spent $30 on a jukebox to play I Whip My Hair back and forth on loop for an hour in a bar. The bartender unplugged the machine. You can download the TouchTunes app and pay to play songs at bars in a radius of your location. There's a club nearby that I sometimes put Let It Go from Frozen on at 1130 at night. Another song I throw in rotation is My Dingailing. I spent about $6,000 on MC DJ for my wedding. But he was the most professional MC I've ever met. He coordinated all the sound with the videographer, the caterers around the speeches, pre-planned all music and mixed songs to be the perfect length. I didn't worry about a thing on the day. Deleted. My older sister is obsessed with The Witcher games, so I paid the main character's Geralt's voice actor to wish her a happy birthday. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up, holy shit. For those who asked. It was around €40 on Cameo, but I am very broke student. So for me that's expensive. And some people consider it wasted money because it's nothing physical and it's just a dude talking. But yeah, I feel like it's cooler than having her little sister just tell her every year how much she appreciates her. Voice actor seems like a really cool dude. He even made the effort to pronounce her name right. We speak Dutch and it's joke, as silly as that sounds. Edit 2. Since a friend told me about my post blowing up, if you know us personally, don't mention it to her. She doesn't use Reddit, but her b-day is only in a few weeks. Edit 3. PFF, so many of these comments are sweet and funny, we'll definitely show them to her on her day. Doug Cockle seems like a really awesome guy. Glad you were able to make her birthday really special. A new car. I bought a Toyota Camry in 2016. Everyone told me I was crazy. We were in an accident on Thanksgiving 2020 with a drunk driver. That car saved mine and my husband's life. I don't regret it at all. I'm a graduate student. I bought a $200 globe that opens up to put my booze inside. No regrets. My first university degree, but it was really my parents' money that I wasted. I don't do anything related to it now. I went back to get the degree that I wanted and everyone told me would be a waste of my potential afterwards. I now work in that field and love it. Moving away from home was one of the best things that happened to me because it allowed me to grow a lot as a person. And also my road bike $4,000, but I love every second on it. What is the field you love so much? I once bought 30 pounds of candy,